Okay. Be careful. This is a rabbit hole. Okay. If you want to take the blue pill, just don't look at this. If you know that your neighbors have 2 kids, okay? They told, like, you met them, they told you they have 2 kids, they didn't mention gender. Then you notice one of the kids is outside and is a boy, right? Then you wonder, what's the probability the other one is also a boy?
It's 50%.
Yeah,
The
so,
gender of one kid doesn't affect the probability of the other kid's gender, unless they're twins. I don't
Yeah.
know how that
Except
works.
genetic predispositions.
okay, so for getting genetic
Are you
predispositions,
talking about biologically?
for getting twins, okay, and actually twins don't make any difference.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
So, this seems like a straight up, knowing something about one of the kids does not affect the other one, so it has to be 50%, right?
It's 25%.
No, unfortunately, it's,
Because I just realized I double counted that one.
unfortunately, this is even weirder. Okay, so here's the rabbit hole.
So now you're looking at a possibility of 4 instead.
What are the options for the kids?
Boy, XS.
Okay, so there's either boy and girl from kid 1 and kid 2, right? Assuming that we're not allowing other. So I think there's,
You have to allow other. This is not in here.
okay, I want to make this easy, not incredibly complicated. You have your neighbors have 2 kids, and they both gender identify
You could say they're cisgender.
with cis genders. Okay, so your neighbors have 2 cisgendered kids. They made a big point about that. It was really awkward. I don't know why they thought that was such an important thing.
Facebook social justice warrior.
Okay, so these are the 4 outcomes that are available at the stage of I don't know anything about the kids, right? Each of these outcomes has equal probability, right? Once you know that one of the kids is a boy, what is changed about that diagram?
Can't have girl.
Yeah, and that's the weird thing, is that there's only one thing that's removed, right? And so what's the probability that the other kid is also a boy? Yeah, it's only 1/3. It's this one. Right? It's got to be boy, boy out of boy, 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 girl, and girl, boy. You guys see that?
Oh, duh.
Okay, can I ask what boy girl means? Are you just using B and G to stand for the X and Y chromosomes, or?
No, I'm using
That's
that.
not actual punishment.
There are 2 kids, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. That makes more sense now.
Makes less sense.
What was-
now.
There are 2 kids, right?
Yeah.
So there's the kid you've seen and the kid you haven't seen.
Yeah.
I don't know which ones those are in this picture, right? But there's kid 1 and kid 2. Kid 1 is either a boy or a girl because they told me it's cisgender, right? Kid 2 is either a boy or a girl because they told me it's cisgender, and it was still an incredibly weird conversation.
But kid 1 is boy.
You guys see that? And I don't know which is which. I just know that one of the kids is a boy. Yeah, because I saw it.
Because you assume.
So because I assumed, yes. So that crosses out the girl-girl case, right? I know that can't be the case because I have observed one of them and pushed my cis-normative gender role evaluation upon them, right? So then I'm left in one of these 3 cases, and I don't know which one it is. You guys see that? The case I'm interested in, right, is this, what's the probability the other one is also a boy, right? So I need to count the number of, quote, successes, right? The number of the other kid's a boy, out of the universe that's left to me.
But isn't that assuming that you're still within, like, not knowing either of the kid's gender when you're doing that 1/3 probability?
I don't know which of the kids I've observed.
But we know girl knows.
See that? So this seems like a really bizarre thing, and this was so incredibly bizarre to statisticians that it ought to work this way. Like, this explanation was pitched, and statisticians were like, yeah, but no,
This
that
is like
couldn't
that
possibly be the thing. So there was a magazine that actually took it upon themselves to publish a one-page ad saying, if you have a boy if you have 2 kids and one of them's a boy, please tell us the gender of the other kid on a postcard. And they got, this was in the days before Netflix, when people were really bored. So they got lots of postcards. And it came out to be 0.32 or something. The other kid was a boy. So
No.
it is experimentally verifiable.
That's the whole problem where you have like the doors and if you open up.
Oh.
Yeah, this is
That's
not
wrong.
quite as
No.
nasty as the Monty Hall problem, but it is a similar thought process.
I hate that so much because I know it's kind of being true, but
Yeah, the Monty Hall problem is interesting and works.
We can do that.
What is that? Oh,
We'll talk about it later. Any other questions on this thing?
But
It's so wrong, but it's
so if you say you observe kid 1 and you know it's a boy,
Uh-huh.
so wouldn't you be able to like cross out the G1, or if you observed kid 2 and it was a boy, you could cross out the bottom row, which would just leave 2 options.
If you knew which kid it was.
Why does it matter which kid it was? You could just say, you're kid number 1.
You were the first kid I saw,
Right.
you are kid
But-
number 1.
You don't know if it's
Why
kid
can't
one.
that work?
We're talking
Why
about a
does it matter when they
chronological
pop
kid
the
one,
mouse
yeah.
first?
So,
Of which you don't know.
it turns out that you don't know enough about the situation to make that determination.
It's
Because
fair game.
all you know is that you have seen one of the children, right?
Don't
You-
see
But-
why it matters which one you saw.
Okay, I'm gonna let this go, but I promise it works.
Because their kid one is not your kid one necessarily.
Yeah.
It could be chronologically kid one, or
You-
they
you
like
don't
that
know
kid
whether you
better,
see
but you don't know
Tyler or
which one.
Dakota.
so.
Yeah, if you knew, for instance, that you had, like, no,
Okay,
Yeah.
so what if they told
it doesn't
you?
matter.
Go off the edge.
What if they told you their first kid was off at college and you see a kid, so you assume that one's kid 2? Then would the other kid be 50% either gender? Okay, because you know which one it is. Okay.
So for this problem and the Monty Hall one, if it's just like bigger picture, right? Like, okay, so there's a legitimate 50% chance of that kid being a boy or a girl, but it's like big picture if you really want to know like possible outcomes.
Yeah, so the problem here is I don't know what universe I'm in, right? So this is all about that. The thing that's happened here that gets confusing is that number of total outcomes, right? Thank you for shooting things
Shot
at me.
projectiles. Mrs. Moore. Oh.
So the universe's size is the thing that's changing here. And in this case, the universe's size is changing because I can only rule out one outcome, and that's this one. I still know they have 2 kids. I don't know anything about which kid is which, but I do know that this outcome is no longer on the table. There's a good reason they had to experimentally verify this, because it's non-intuitive.
I have a friend with 6 girls. Can you tell me what the probability for 7 being a boy is?